Hi everyone, Zizaran here with a heist thoughts video. I just want to sum up my thoughts on my experience with the league so far. I'll cover both like the positives and the negatives, and just a little talk about the game in general. And yeah, we can start with the positives. So I actually really like the league. I really do enjoy the league. I think the mechanic has been really fun. I mean, we actually have a mechanic. I feel like in Harvest League we didn't really have a mechanic. We just had like a sort of a band-aid system and a cool crafting system. I didn't feel super engaged by like making a farm, picking up some seeds and planting them. Now in Heist, I think it's really cool. I really enjoy the loot system, the concept of the alarm, and like running through that maze, leveling up the henchmen's pretty fun. Like it's a very, at least for me, very like interesting and cool system. And we do have loads of new skills as well, regardless of if they're good or bad. At least we got loads of new skills this league, and some of the reworks have been pretty cool. So I think the base game is in a very good state right now, where I generally enjoy the gameplay and everything, and I don't particularly need a really good or solid league for me personally to enjoy it. And more than anything, I just want alternative gameplays. So Heist is definitely to some degree filling that, and I'm very excited for that to be fixed. Generally, the league is fairly exciting, but it does come with a lot of issues. So let's talk about some of the problems I've been having. I wasn't mentally prepared for the amount of bugs and glitches that the league had, and like things that went wrong. Like for example, I couldn't do Heist once I got to maps the first day. On my essence trading character, at some point I tried and I had 6 or 7 heists in a row that crashed. And regardless if like maybe it was only like 9 out of 10 that crashed, like for me then when that many are crashing, that's while racing, not time efficient to do Heist, right? And another thing I was kind of sad about, like I made Crackling Lance League starters, and especially the one where, you know, you're using Intensify, Spell Echo, and it would make it a lot more viable with Archmage. In the video showing Crackling Lance, there was a bug where the repeated cast would gain intensity stacks, and this was incorrect behavior. So obviously we tested on the live realm before the patch went out. Obviously worked as intended there, it did not give 2 Intensify stacks, but because they posted this in a video like promoting Crackling Lance, I was like, that means they're changing it, right? Maybe it's special for Crackling Lance since it has Intensify built into it. Maybe the built-in Intensify effect works with the gem, so they both give 2. Maybe they don't work with Unleash. That was obviously unfortunate as well. Hopefully not too many people were affected by that, but I think a lot were. A lot of people obviously wanted to try the new skills, and a lot of people were fairly disappointed. A lot of the new skills are fairly lacking, and while like you can make builds with them, it was hard for a lot of players. Other than that, like Heist has a lot of problems. When you talk about the Rise QT death, you see like a small blue circle. It looks very similar to like the player conflux effect. It's sort of something that you sort of would get used to, like doesn't really do anything. It also looks like elemental prolif and like quite a lot of other things. That turns out to be a mine that does like 5 to 10k damage, and they're stacked up to 8. And like you can see Rise QT like going through it, and he like believes this is like a mistake or a bug or something. And just, it's very hard to see, especially like the more Path of Exile evolves, the more of a bit of a clusterfuck of graphics it is. Like it's very hard to see things, especially if you're a new player, but even as somebody that does play the game regularly. And we can talk about my death as well. Now obviously the reason I died is I am being stupid, and while that is obviously bad play on my part, I still find it frustrating that it takes so long for the on death effect to actually show up. And that like if you see here, you can see that my Herald of Ash effect is glowing on the monsters as per normal, right? Like because I have Herald of Ash, all monsters I kill do have like a faint glow to them. So I don't really notice. I feel they're very hard to see until like 0.8 seconds before they explode or something like that, where they have that big red beam. And if they started like that, then they'd be easier. There's also a shit ton of them, and each one of these do 5 or 6k damage. I'm not a huge fan of how that works or how on-death effects are made. They don't feel very engaging or fun, and I'm just not a big fan of them. I mean, it does punish players for going slow. It obviously rewards you for going very fast, because when you are going fast, you're never like going back into an on-death mechanic, right? You're just yeeting on and killing loads of monsters. So it does punish going slow. If I was a game designer, and I'm not, and for very good reason, I don't think I'd be a very good one. The things like the Great Boy, the huge robot that's the size of a screen firing lasers at you, that would probably be the dangerous thing. Where I would go like, holy shit, there's an enemy the size of a house on my screen. this thing must be dangerous. It's huge. It's very obvious. It has like things I should try to avoid, but that does little to no damage at all. Same with the huge plasma ball in Delve that's like slowly moving towards you. Also does like 30 damage. Whereas again in Delve, the small spiders, the skitter spiders, also they look completely identical to a different spider that does nothing. Those do like huge ice spikes that do like 6 to 10k damage. That is sort of like the game design that I'm not a huge fan of. I love when like huge slams, like the Shaper Slam, the Elder Slam, the Vol Slam, they can do 20,000 damage for all I care. Or the Aziri Flame Blast. I think they're amazing. I think they're really good. It's very clear that they're dangerous moves and that they're going to kill you, and they do. I think that is like the perfect design, like from how I feel as a player. But I always hate when there's like small things that's hard to notice, especially in a game that is very littered with graphical effects that we can't turn off. Because like if you're playing like Volatile Dead or you're playing Cremation, like a skill that is like very like graphic bloaty, you have a big disadvantage just for choosing that skill. God forbid you're using the automaton effect, because that's exactly the same color scheme as these things. So you might think like one of your Herald of Thunder with automaton effect or something is this thing, right? Like you do as a player, you get sort of used to what you should be worried about. There's nothing buggy here. It's just a design that I don't think is good for the game or healthy. The alert level is being changed. I don't fully know how I feel about this. I think it's gonna make the mechanic feel a little bit less engaging. However, I think removing the alert mechanic is a good thing for now until they can fix it. I always thought it was weird that we went into these heists and the alert level doesn't go up when they see us. That we had to run around and kite them. It's like there's 10 guards on us, and I'm like, well, as long as I don't kill them, the alert level doesn't go up. So I always found that very strange. The alert level being gone from killing them is definitely better than that. But I think maybe the alert level should go up when you get seen. And maybe you have to like avoid some of the big patrols if they want to make the mechanic really engaging there. I don't care too much about this. It's not particularly important. I don't want to speak for everyone here, but I do know that a large percentage of the player base, they just want a nice hack and slash where they kill things and get loot. And I think that's completely okay. Not everybody needs a super deep league mechanic. A lot of people just want to smash things and get loot. And I think that is probably the primary player of the game. Generally, I am very, very excited for the league. Very disappointed with how many things went wrong. And I was a little bit extra disappointed by GDD posting that the launch went smoothly. With very, very few things that just needed some minor hotfixes. I think they did say in hindsight that they meant the servers went well and stuff, and that's very true. As somebody that's been playing for a long time, the servers have been amazing. Like, let's talk about that a little bit. The queue times, they're fast, the servers barely go down, and things are generally very smooth. So very happy with how launches have been going. There were so many things that go wrong, so not everybody knows about all of this, but for example, every player doing a level 3 Wealth of the Val was guaranteed to get a mirror shard. So you could chain that inquiry where it's very easy to farm them, and you could farm like a lot of mirror shards, possibly even a mirror before that got fixed. Another thing, again, these are mostly issues for Trade League. These don't affect me personally as a SSF player at all, so I'm not particularly upset about them. I'm more like concerned that so many things went wrong. There were several prophecies while used in the Rogue Harbor that just weren't used up. So if you had the one additional Chaos Orb from a Chaos Recipe prophecy, you could infinitely do Chaos Recipe as long as you did it in the Rogue Harbor. It would never use the prophecy up, so you just got +1 chaos every Chaos Recipe. Also, this meant that if you early on had the Six-Sync prophecy, and this took like 2 or 3 days to fix, but people were just infinitely Six-Syncing just with Jewelers with the Six-Sync prophecy, because that also did not get used up while standing there. You know, obviously that is going to harm the Trade League economy quite a bit. Another thing that affected me quite well, or quite a lot, was the Asenath the Asenath's Silk Touch gloves, which are very rare. They are gloves from Legion that makes enemies explode similar to the explosion chest, and also remove a lot of corpses. They didn't work. So I did drop them, and I was very excited about this. The explosion would kill the player as well, so they weren't wearable on hardcore or softcore. I mean, you would kill yourself every map. Very frustrated with how Heist has gone so far, and I think the main reason that I am so frustrated with it is because I think it is so amazing, and I really want to play the league. I think all the issues are fixable, and I hope they'll like learn from this and just keep doing well. But yeah, the mechanics cool. I'm fairly happy. I think everything is fixable. I am definitely getting tired of the first 2 weeks having so many issues. I think a good solution to this would be doing a legacy league again. The problem with that is easy for me to say that as a player. I don't have any information on like the data behind the scenes, like how good the last legacy league was. I do hope that we can have some launches soon where just most things work and there is minor fixes and not like things that are detrimental to the players and their enjoyment. I don't think there is any game studio that puts as much love and effort into this as GGG. I don't think any game studio comes close in the amount of content or shit they put out. And obviously, yeah, like I just said, it's probably too much sometimes. But yeah, I fucking love this game. So I want to see it do well. So let me know like if you disagree or agree, whatever you feel like, that's completely valid. This is not like the correct opinion. This is just my opinion. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I do hope you enjoy Heist League and try to die less than I do.